Hello EFD squad, you lucky devils. Euro roundup is back. It's me and Pat. Hamstraten, some people call us. Cato.
Oh, good. That's better.
Yeah?
I prefer that.
Let's go for Cato. Anyway, how are you? How was your weekend before we delve into European football?
Good. Yeah, nothing to report. How about you?
Nothing new to report, apart from that sharp-ass fade. Although I had that done last week, didn't you, so? Pretty impressive.
Stop looking at me.
No, I'm addressing you with my eyes.
Let's just do this.
Are we going with this intro? Should we stick with it?
Why not?
Rennes. All right, let's start with Rennes. And this comes from at KJ61200 because they only went and bloody beat PSG.
Yeah, though it looked like they were going to get battered early doors because they gave away a goal. There's like a flat pass basically across the keeper. The keeper tries to take a touch, misses it, and Cavani taps in. And so you kind of thought this is going to be a bloodbath.
Floodgates.
But instead, Julien Stéphan's men were absolutely incredible, going on to win 2-1 at Roazhon Park. And PSG have now lost 5 of their last 6 away games, including twice on the bounce to Rennes after losing the Coupe de France final to the Red and Blacks last campaign on penalties. In fact, out of all Ligue 1 sides in the last 10 seasons, Rennes have beaten PSG the most times, and they were good value for the win. They had more shots, 11-9, twice as many on target, 4-2. And obviously PSG were missing Neymar because of the uncertainty over his future. Thomas Tuchel decided to leave him out. But frankly, this was a deserved result, and I think that they can be delighted with themselves that once again they've shown they're PSG's bogey team.
Yeah, second week on the bounce he's left Neymar out. Pretty hairy stuff if you're a PSG fan and harbour any aspirations of doing well in the Champions League, I think. I suppose still got Mbappe, put up decent numbers in this game. Actually, Pato, Barcelona, Bayern, PSG and Man City, all reigning champions, failed to win on the same weekend for the first time since April 2014. So this set of results, one for the ages, you know. But that wasn't the biggest surprise of this game week. We need to talk about Eduardo Camavinga, Rennes' youngest ever professional, signing a contract at the tender age of 16, and he bossed the midfield. You know, comprised of Draxler, Marquinhos, Verratti. He looked absolutely incredible. The 16-year-old assisted in this game. It was sort of a lovely cross-field ball that was hung up towards the back post. It was scored with a kind of deft, flicked header. He becomes the youngest player in Ligue 1 to register an assist since Opta records began. He also sustained a pass accuracy of 98% from 41 passes, which feels, you know, like he was exuding confidence, wasn't he? Completing 3 tackles in the process. And in the 2 games this campaign that he's started, because he played his first game against Angers, he's averaging 5.5 defensive actions, 1 key pass and 1 shot. And in this game, he was actually fouled a bunch of times. That was one of the most impressive things I noticed from the highlights, that he was relieving an awful lot of pressure on the Rennes back line. And they started out with a 5. I think they went sort of 5-3-2. By winning free kicks in really advantageous areas, because he just had that ability, that burst through the lines. And a physical specimen already, clearly has very developed match intelligence for a guy his age, and I just think he's going to be one to watch. I think we'll probably see him on a scout report in about 3 months' time. Yeah, when we've actually got some data, some tasty, juicy data, so he can sink his teeth into it.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Our first losers of the week are Barcelona. This comes from @Lobargain. What happened to them? Because it was pretty humiliating.
Well, first of all, do you rate that handle?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's obviously new, isn't it?
Who's Lobargain?
I assume it's the Celso.
Oh, right, okay. And it's a Spurs fan?
Yeah, that would be my guess, right?
Maybe it was Danny in the office. Maybe he made this up. Interesting. Aritz Adariz, you little beauty. Well, you big beauty. Bit of a unit, isn't he? What a stunning skizzer kick that was to give Bilbao an opening day 1-0 victory over Barcelona. Champions just stunned by that late goal, condemning them to defeat in their opening game for the first time since 2008. And they deserved it. It was just lackluster stuff. The 38-year-old coming on in the 88th minute. What a way to introduce yourself. That was actually his second touch, and he becomes the only player after Lionel Messi to score in 15 consecutive La Liga seasons, which is hugely impressive. Messi, subsequently was missed emphatically, wasn't he? They've now failed to win their last 6 games in which the Argentine hasn't featured. That doesn't feel good considering the amount of money they've spent bringing the rest of that squad up to scratch. Busquets was also missing from the side, and he holds a similar record in that regard. So they haven't won the last 5 games in his absence. It's almost like they've been dependent on the same group of players for the last 4 or 5 years and not really, joined up the transfers well with key personnel. Luis Suarez came close to opening the lead. He hit the woodwork in the first half, but he limped off and he might be out for a decent proportion of time. Rafinha came on for him, not exactly a like-for-like replacement.
No.
He deputised up front a couple times last season, didn't he? In a front 3, but that's a huge downgrade. But not that Valverde is probably expecting any luck against Bilbao, because apparently since 2003 they've hit the woodwork 29 times against them, which feels like a lot. I don't have a reference point, do you?
Well, it's more than they have against anybody else, so I presume it is quite a lot, yeah. But I mean, they had 72% of the ball. You expect when you have that much of the ball, you are going to have some shots, but they only got 2 on target, while Bilbao had 5. Now, XG had the game at 0.5 for Bilbao, 1.3 for Barca, but that's still kind of within the margin of error. Like, if you draw that game or lose that game, you haven't been terribly unlucky, So it's weird that they couldn't really create more in this game. De Jong obviously got a start, Griezmann as well, but neither one was spectacular. De Jong kept the ball well, 94% pass accuracy, which was a game high, but no real movement in front of him, didn't create any chances. Griezmann was on the edge of the match. Now, obviously with strikers, they tend to complete fairly few passes. That's inevitable because the ball doesn't get to them all that much, but he completed just 14, which was the lowest in the side, and only 4 in the second half, with 2 of those coming from kickoffs. That is troubling. 1 dribble, no shots on target. These are really quite damning numbers from Griezmann, and it makes you think, if Griezmann's only going to be good if people like Messi are around to create for him, then why did they spend all that money on him?
That's unusual for Griezmann, right? Because he dropped off so much with Atletico to kind of link up the play. Diego Costa was, of course, more advanced than him. Alvaro Morata, I suppose, when they played. Did they play together? Yeah. When they played together for that 6 months. Like, he is normally pretty adept at, generating, 30, 35 passes. Do you think that just the chemistry is not there? I mean, it's hard to say at this point.
I just don't think it's what he's expected to do at Barcelona. I think in this game, probably, especially once Suarez went off, he was expected to be the goal threat. But then there's nobody really in attacking midfield. Frenkie de Jong is an amazing player, but he's not an attacking midfielder. Messi's not in there. Coutinho isn't playing. Ousmane Dembele, who's a great creator, hardly ever plays. So where is the creativity coming from in that side? It's genuinely quite right. As good as
again.
Probably. And as good as people like Arthur are, Arthur's not a creator either. So it's a little bit troubling. Whereas Bilbao, their midfielders knew exactly what they were there to do. Dani Garcia, 91% pass accuracy and 5 tackles a match high. And to a certain extent, when you're playing against Barcelona, you know exactly what your job is. Iñaki Williams was causing problems for the back line. 3 shots, 2 on target. Ter Stegen made some good stops there. And now Barca have Betis up on Sunday, and they really, really need Messi back. As you said, Suarez could be out for a while. Coutinho's gone. And Betis are pretty dangerous. They've got Nabil Fekir, who will obviously be wanting to make a good impression. So, I don't know. I mean, Barca needs everything to click fairly soon. Otherwise, they're going to be in exactly the same position they've been in for the last 10 years, relying on Busquets and Messi.
Staying in La Liga then, our last winners come from Room Cobra. Shout out, channel legend. It's Real Madrid.
Yeah, they really needed to dispel the stink of their pre-season, Real Madrid. Obviously, they lost 7-3 to Atletico, and they got off to a good start in La Liga with a 3-1 victory over Celta Vigo, who are no pushovers. And, of course, Real Madrid were down to 10 men for much of this game. Now, Gareth Bale was a surprise starter and was very, very good. He actually produced a great cross to set up the first goal after 12 minutes. There's a screamer from Toni Kroos, which I highly recommend you check out. And then the third goal is this unbelievable flowing team move, which has Marcelo playing attacking midfield at the heart of it, and it's genuinely really, really fun. The only downside for Real is that Hazard was not able to make his league debut due to a hamstring injury, but Zidane claimed that Bale was always in his plans. He said, the injury to Eden Hazard was bad luck for us, but it didn't change the plans we had for Bale in this game. That's despite the fact that a month ago he was saying, Gareth Bale really needs to leave.
The air is thick with ball.
Get him out of our club. Buy him a ticket to China. Bale actually looked really lively throughout. It was a real problem on the wing. Playing on the left, interestingly. but he got that assist, 2 shots on target, 1 key pass. He actually had 0.94 expected goals and assists. So though his counting numbers weren't good, obviously the quality of the shots he had and the chances he created was. But the XG showed that there were some areas to improve. 1.5 expected goals for Celta Vigo to 1.95 for Real Madrid shows that the backline had some difficulties, and they did keep playing themselves into trouble. Kind of got bailed out by Karim Benzema, who obviously also had a really good game, getting a goal and an assist. 4 shots, 2 key passes, 2 dribbles, and the best pass accuracy for Madrid with 95.2%. However, Los Blancos have now won 11 of their 14 visits to Celta Vigo in La Liga over the last 14 years. That's more than any other away side in the 21st century. So I suppose it was a foregone conclusion, but overall a good attacking performance.
Yeah, I mean, you said the defence faced some issues in this game, and it came in the form of new £11 million signing Denis Suarez, whose expected goals and assists for this game were around 0.6 because he was whipping the ball in at every given opportunity. 6 crosses in this game, which is sky high, and a pass accuracy of 93.2%. So he was finding his man. Absolute pin seeker. He was also the one fouled by Modric, which led to Modric receiving a straight red. With the help of VAR, the referee had to go back and give him his marching orders. That was his first red card in 201 La Liga games, so not really in his nature to get sent off. And the second one he's received for a club in all competitions, or the club even, being Real Madrid. 18-year-old academy graduate Iker Losada came on as well, so there's some kind of side bonuses, some nice little side narratives if you're a Celta Vigo fan looking for a silver lining here. He made his debut in the 87th minute and scored a pretty fine consolation goal, becoming the 4th La Liga player born in the 21st century to score a goal alongside Barentexia, Brian Gill, and if you can name the last one, then you'll get a follow from Patrick Van Straten on Twitter. Hopefully Losada can provide Celta Vigo fans with some, hope in the attacking quarters this season. Last year, of course, finished 1 place above relegation in 17th, just 4 points shy of the drop. So they will need to find a consistent outlet. 4 goals. Could it come in the form of youth? You guys are probably more clued up than us. Let us know how much aspiration you harbour for this young man, Celta Vigo fans, in the comments below.
Our second and final losers of the week are Bayern Munich. This comes from @Hugo03Bach, and we also want to talk about Coutinho.
Yes, we are going to, picking up where we left off on transfer review, except less Vin Diesel chat this time.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
More Coutinho chat. So Bayern drew at home 2-2 with Hertha Berlin, not exactly kicking off the 1920 season in style. Going into this game, neither side had lost the opening Bundesliga fixture since 2013, with Bayern actually holding that record since 2002. So winning on match day 1, routine for the Bavarian outfit, but was not the case here, and it was not for lack of trying. They heavily dominated the fixture, 70% possession, 17 shots with 7 on target to Hertha's 6 in total, the visitors having 3 on target. Now Lewandowski scored the first goal of their bully campaign. He's now scored on the first game of the season in the last 5 campaigns, a feat achieved by no other. It's almost as if he's just consistently brilliant. Genius, the guy. Then 2 Premier League exports in Luka Bacchio, who joined Hertha Berlin from Watford for 18 mil. We actually touted that as a bit of a bargain. And Marko Grujic, who was on loan. He's on loan from Liverpool. Was he at Cardiff at some point, or am I imagining that?
Possibly, but he was in Germany last season as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he made it 2-1 to Hertha Berlin at half-time after Hertha scored 2 in 2 minutes, I believe. And the last time Bayern were actually down at half-time on match day 1 was 43 years ago at Dusseldorf. I think they should just strictly play Dortmund on match day 1 every single time, so we can dispel some of these really boring stats.
So that we just decide the league on day 1 and they beat them 5-0.
So Luka Bacchio really looks like he's pushing on from last campaign, where he managed 10 goals and 3 assists in just 22 starts. I think he got another 9 from the bench, actually. For Fortuna Dusseldorf, scoring with his only shot of the game, and it was a massive deflection, so he was riding his luck big time here. But it has subsequently given him a very favourable return at the Allianz. That's his 4th goal there. No players scored more. He's now tied with CR7 And Marcus Rosenberg.
After 1 season and 1 game.
Yeah, he scored a hat-trick there
Jesus.
last season.
Fair enough.
So he turns up at the Allianz. But Bayern, I wouldn't say Hertha are their booby team, but they've struggled against them in the past, haven't they?
Yeah, in a matchup between, Germany's 2 biggest cities, they actually do tend to struggle. They've drawn 3 and lost 1 of their previous 5 fixtures. And of course now, they just don't have a reliable goalkeeper anymore. Like, same as last season, Neuer can't really bail them out. And in this game, he only made 1 save and was very easily rounded for Hertha's second goal. Ended up with the lowest who scored rating on the pitch with 5.7. So, I mean...
Can't hide your disdain for the who scored rating.
It's just a number, isn't it? It's just a fucking number out of 10. Like, I just don't... There's nothing behind it. But I think in this instance, like, when you've got a keeper who's meant to be one of the best in the world getting a rating of 5.7 out of 10, that's the rating I'd have got in this game. Because they'd have been like, oh, he's tried, hasn't he? He's done a job. I'd probably have caught 1 ball. That would have been good. They're having trouble on the wings as well. I mean, Gnabry on one wing was great. Gnabry had 4 shots, 2 on target, 5 key passes, completed 3 out of 3 dribbles. Great. On the other wing, Kingsley Coman, my God, did he have a bad game. 1 shot, which was on target, 2 key passes, that's all right. Attempted 6 dribbles, succeeded with 1 of them, was dispossessed 4 times. Don't know what happened on the other one, just a fucking seagull came in and like swooped off with the ball or something. Yeah, Bobby Seagull. Answers on the postcard as to what happened in that one. If he didn't succeed with this dribble, but he wasn't dispossessed. So what happened? I would really like to know.
Who was the right back? Is he just an absolute beast?
What, Hertha Berlin?
Yeah, is that the kid they signed from the Dutch league?
Kingsley Coman's got 1 leg.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, at this point, he is pretty much Forrest Gump.
He's a unicycle.
He should be playing in leg braces.
Oh, wowzer. Anyway, obviously got Coutinho coming in, so in theory that should bulk them out at that position. But it would be the first time in a while that he's kind of started as a legit left winger, if that is what he's going to do. Either that or he's going to play attacking mid and Perisic is going to play there. Either way, it doesn't particularly fill you with excitement. Dortmund obviously finished 2 points off them last season. That was the closest title race since 2009 when Wolfsburg won. And Dortmund had a stellar first day. Despite conceding in the opening minute, went on to win 5-1. I think they allowed 5 shots against Augsburg, so pretty good. I think Bayern are going to have to make a move because otherwise I do actually kind of worry about it.
I mean, you just touched upon it there, but let's discuss how Coutinho slots into this side and who comes out of it at the expense of him. So you think it's going to be the pogo stick? You think it's going to be Kingsley Coman?
I still think Kingsley Coman is talented, and if he's fit, I would play him over, say, Müller, whose existence is kind of like, purely theoretical at this point. And I don't know, generally speaking, I'd be like, let's play Coutinho as a sort of semi-10. Though I would have actually kept James Rodriguez. And let's just play that front 3. Because scoring goals is going to be an issue for them if Lewandowski has any sort of dip.
So you think stay 4-3-3, Coutinho playing left-hand side like he sort of did for Liverpool, despite the fact he was kind of playing his best stuff on the left-hand side of a midfield 3 maybe at times?
I don't know if he played his best stuff there. I think he played... No, like I said...
They kind of went to a 4, didn't they?
Like I said, I think I'd probably play like Coman there and play him behind. You could play a 4-2-3-1. You could do whatever you wanted, really. I mean,
okay.
You could play any position, to be honest.
You can. I actually think him and Thiago Alcantara are going to be magnifique together.
But who's going to do the defensive work for them? Like, Thiago defends, but they do need somebody else in there.
Thiago puts up monstrous defensive numbers.
He does when they're adjusted for possession, but like you do need somebody there to actually mop up. Like if Thiago's job is just defending, then you're kind of not getting the best out of Thiago, I think.
So you think Chop Thomas Muller, who didn't score a lot of goals
he's not going to play anyway.
Last campaign, but I think was it last campaign or the season before that he put up very good creative numbers? I think he actually got double digits for assists.
He normally puts up decent creative numbers.
I suppose you've got Serge Gnabry with all that kind of good progression, positive progression on the right hand side, and a lot of chances for Lewandowski. Yeah, Kimmich, very strong down the right, so maybe Coutinho down the left. And Perisic is a squad depth at this point?
Well, I'd just send Perisic back. I'd make Perisic like help the kit man or something.
Well, considering this is our title, we want to know from you guys where you'd put Coutinho in that side, and would you in fact, condemn Perisic to the role of kit man? Let us know on Twitter.
Not kit man, junior kit man.
Junior kit man. It's that guy on the Man City documentary that wore in the boots for the players.
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
Right. He's
boot bitch.
Pretty sound guy. I don't think that was his official role on LinkedIn. Boot bitch. So get your formations in the comments below, and I think should we do Star of the Week very briefly because no one actually prepared anything. But you have a few noteworthy performances in the old bonds of yours, don't you?
Yeah, Sergio Reguilon, who obviously has joined Sevilla on loan from Real Madrid for the coming season, had a pretty hilarious game, like playing left back, had 5 shots, got a goal. I think he got an assist as well as Sevilla won 2-0 against a team whose identity I've forgotten. But yeah, that was pretty dominant. And actually, have you seen, also I think Paco Alcácer had a really good game.
Brace, didn't he?
2 goals and an assist. So it looks like he wants to beat his absurd goal involvement rate from last season. And for Leipzig were really dominant actually. Like Sabitzer had a great game. I think Sabitzer created 5 chances or something. And generally speaking, like Halstenberg got a goal. Timo Werner scored a screamer. I genuinely am really excited to see how a really talented attack is supercharged by Nagelsmann, because for the first time he has really talented attackers. So I think they could score an obscene number of goals this season. In fact, I think Leipzig to be top scorers in the Bundesliga.
Ooh, nice, bold. I like it. They were asking him after the game what his expectations were for this season, and he said it is just to kind of recreate the excellent season that we had under Ralf Rangnick. And of course, by expected points, they should have probably been second in the table. Second would represent significant progress. So let's see how that pans out. But I mean, Coutinho, not the only kind of transfer not up in the air, because it's kind of been, sealed. He's been pictured there now. But Timo Werner, they've told him to sign a contract extension or kind of expect to be sold, haven't they? He's only got a year left on his deal. So whilst he's made a great start under Nagelsmann, we might see someone move for him before the window closes at the end of the month. So that could be something we're reporting on a little bit later. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you've not checked out winners and losers on Football Daily, then go over and do so. And a couple of podcasts last week. No, one coming this week, so the Vibes Extra Time. What did you talk about in the Game's Gone Mad?
Oh, all sorts, mate. Neymar. We talked about Neymar, and then we talked about... we were going to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but we haven't seen it yet. I have now seen it, so we will talk about that this week.
Okay, enjoying watching you sweat there. Bye.